everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Joey Evans.
Today we're taking a look at a game called Lunar Rush 3. Now, it's just Lunar Rush, but
I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
I'm still behind.
I missed out on the
it
first
almost
one.
looks like a 3 there.
Wow.
Here's the thing. I played this game solely because I just happened to have it in a bag.
Yes.
And I say that because it's called Lunar Rush. I would never have thought of that based on this cover.
Covers.
No.
This could have been an expansion pack to StarCraft Brood War. Like it's the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very modern and striking.
Yeah, and even the game setup doesn't like jump off the table or anything. And I wasn't sure what to expect from playing this. This was definitely one I wasn't super interested in. I do like, after I was reading through, I like the theme because you are these rich conglomerates that are so rich, money has almost no meaning to you. Because you are shipping stuff from Earth to the moon, and then you're doing stuff on the moon, and that's where resources matter. But when you're bringing stuff up from Earth, like, you need some gold, get some gold. You need some of this, get some of that. Whatever it is. You need it, you got it.
Hot dogs, take as many as you want, kid. It's on me.
Yeah.
So, Chris is going to show you how it plays, and we'll be right back.
Here we have Lunar Rush set up on the table. This is kind of simulating partway through a game already. This is an individual player board area where you have workers that you can activate. This all represents your base of operations up here on the moon. The main board represents us starting from the Earth and sending spaceships along these shipping lanes, fast, medium, and slow, up to the moon so that we can use these resources here to do our operations and mining. We are then going to take all of these moon crystals that we get and ship them along these return lanes, fast, medium, and slow, back to the Earth. When these things arrive back to Earth, they're going to be sold for market value, which are going to be points that we will earn around the outside track of the game here. These are giga credits. Your money is your victory points here. So the game is broken up into mostly 3 phases. The Earth phase is where we're going to bid for turn order on this board over here, and then we're going to be picking ships that we'll be going on. So every player has cards 1 through 5, and so if I bid with this one here, and the other players throw these ones in, we will reveal the bid. And in this case, I bid 3, blue bid 4, and yellow bid 1. Each player is going to pay that amount of giga credits, or victory points, in order to try to get this initiative here. As the blue player is first, they're going to take one of their spaceships and choose to put it into one of these lanes, either an outbound lane going up to the moon, or another one returning from the moon. Let's say that blue has a lot of stuff they want to ship back. They're going to choose a slower lane. The slow lane, you can see, takes 3 turns to get back to the other side, but it's allowed to carry more items. So I, as the red player, want to do that. I'm going to take slow because it allows me to ship 9 resources up to the moon. Then yellow says, I want to go fast because I want to get something up there immediately. I can only carry 2 items, or they can only carry 2, but they will get there this same turn in one immediate move. And so players do this back and forth until everybody has set out 2 of these ships over here, and then when we're done with that, we go to the loading phase. Every player can load up to 2 astronauts on their outbound ships, as well as this number of items. Because we're so rich here, this is on medium, we can get any of these Earth resources for free. We don't have to pay for them, but we do have an item limit. So here, this ship can only carry 2 items and up to 2 astronauts. This one can carry up to 9 items, so I might do something like this to get a huge payload later. The white cubes count as 2 space. Once everyone is done loading up, then the moonbound ships will be moving forward that direction. What that means is any fast ship will get there right away and be able to deliver these items usable to that player. The medium ship is going to take 2 turns to get there, and the slow ship's 3. But these ships have already been out from previous rounds flying forward, so I, as the red player, and also am going to be getting all of these goods and these new astronaut workers to work with. The blue player gets these ones for them to work with, and then these come up from behind, carrying things forward. Now that we've done this, we're at the moon phase, where we're going to be using all of these workers and these resources we brought up here. This board represents our moon base of operations, so players simultaneously will take their workers and assign them to different actions to get the food that they're going to need to feed their astronauts at the end of the round. the energy that they'll need in order to be able to upgrade these different modules here or pay for these special upgrades, of which there are only 8 each game. And it's first come, first serve. They have new worker placement spots or maybe even unique special player powers that only you will get. And there's 8 of those available. Or building from your own upgrades here, or even being able to take a level 1 upgrade and flip it to a level 2. These worker placement spots allow you to turn these cubes and pay for these into other types of items. You can come over here and harvest lots of these lunar crystals that you'll be shipping back. So once players have done all of the stuff that they would like to do, and maybe I could even go over here and pay all these resources to get one of these big crystals, these big lunar crystals. Once players are done with that, they're going to load their outbound ships. So if I had this one outbound, I could take some of these items here that I harvested from the moon and get them ready to ship back to Earth. Once all players have done that in the lunar phase now, ships are going to move forward. These ones that are going to come right here, including the fast ship, let's pretend this is my fast ship, all this will come here and land at the Earth. So the fast ship will unload first, the medium ship will unload second, and then the slow ship will unload third. If you're playing with 4 players, there's 2 fast ships in priority order. At this point, we're at the market phase where we're going to be selling these goods back to the Earth. So my fast ship gets to unload this first and earn its market value in price. And so I, as a red player, would get 42 points. Blammo! And then this is going to tick down one step for each of that type of good I delivered. So you see here, I'm also going to sell 2 of these purple shards here at 8 each, and then 1 of these yellow for 8 each, and advance in points that way. This will advance down 1, and this will advance down 2, and then this player will then get to unload their ship finally and earn this amount in Giga credits, and then move these items down accordingly. You do this for 8 or 7 rounds of the game, and whoever has the most points is the winner.
First and foremost, gotta say, just so you realize going into this, that, I mean, you probably saw it from the overview, this is an economic game.
It's a logistics and economic game.
It's a logic puzzle, all about efficiency. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but if you don't like stock market style games,
That's a big element.
I think you won't like this one. I think. I mean, it's not all the way there, and you're right. It's about efficiency and figuring out the best way to get points or money or whatever. You know, the best way to do that. It's intriguing to me. I'll say I don't know that I love the way the game looks. I think it's fine. There's some aspects of it, like we have the deluxeified meeples that are
Right.
Oh, is that a deluxe thing?
I'm pretty sure. I think in the book, yeah. See. No, these have the screen printing on them. I don't like that in the upgraded stuff, they upgraded the shape of some things, and then you had to remember that on the cards. It's not a big deal. And overall, I thought the game was not always easy to read. In particular, I thought the yellow cards have crammed so much information on the card as to what it does that you cannot at a glance tell what they do. You have to constantly be pulling them up and looking at them to me to see what they did.
Yeah, hand me those, because that's the one thing that's super player order dependent, is who gets the priority of purchasing those things from that lineup. And so, yeah, I do like the fact that if you're last in turn order for choosing where to go, you get first crack at those. But yeah, pretty much the whole time you're playing, someone's going to say, can you have those cards over here? So you scoop them up here. Okay, read through them. Yeah, otherwise, though, I do like that the game is... The board is very simple. It goes this way, it goes this way.
It looks complicated.
Right.
And I love that you have these spaceships that move the stuff up. The visualization of that is cool.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know, it is one thing that a lot of Euros just don't do. It's logical. You know, it's like you'd have to feed these workers and I have to give them air because they're on the moon, man. You know, and it's like, and then I love the whole route drafting aspect of it, to where you can go there. You can go there slow and have more things going up, where you can go there fast and have less. I really like that route drafting.
Well, you have to. And what I mean by that is, I think that makes or breaks the game.
It does.
Your feelings on the fast, slow routes, if you dislike that, I don't think the rest of the game is going to save it or not. The rest of the game is standard worker placement. There's some minor things upgrading. But that route thing is so fascinating.
So good.
You're like, oh, fast is better. No, wait, slow is better. Medium's kind of a mix between. It's a good.
But then you get into these realistic problems where you're like, I'm going to ship them on the slow route, so I'll have time. And then later, like, oh, we're almost here. I don't have a bed for them. And there have been times where it's like, astronauts will get there. I'm like, sorry, man. You're going home. It's like,
to be fair, that's probably bad play on our part when we do that. Once you're good at the game, you shouldn't ever do that, I think.
The shipping lanes are great, and I think one of the traps you might fall into is letting someone pick the slow route too many times because it takes a while to get there. It takes 3 rounds of a 7-round game to get your first delivery if you go slow. But if that person has done that a few times,
yes,
they are just going to have a massive storm of resources to work with once it gets there.
Just blow the stock out. Yeah. Just change that.
It's wonderful. And I like the fact that you alluded to this in the beginning of the video, that those resources you have to ship up, you're not worrying about paying for them or anything.
No, it's just crazy.
Yeah, like, computers up the wazoo, who cares, right?
I know.
But it does make the game simpler.
It really does.
It gets rid of what would otherwise be another hurdle. Okay, how much money do I want to spend? I like that instead it puts that money on the bidding for turn order.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was clever
credits.
because in the last 3 rounds of the game, that amount that you pay has a multiplier on it. And so, if you're bidding 4 giga credits for turn order early in the game, that's 4 points. But if you do it like the second to last round, you multiply it by 3. So if you want to go early those later rounds, you have to pay this exorbitant fee, but it could still be worth it because drafting order matters so much in this game.
And so to that point, this is not a game I would recommend for everybody. I really wouldn't. You have to like these crunchier games. I don't think, it's kind of weird because I don't think the game itself is necessarily crunchy to figure out how to play it, like a Lacerda game.
Right.
This is fairly basic. I am bidding. I'm getting the ships. I'm picking the routes.
Upgrading.
I then get the resources, and I do my own little engine running here with these resources, which I like a lot. That I would hate this game if that was turn ordered. But the fact that we're all doing that together is great. But the crunchy part comes into what is if I do that, I can do this, and this. So there's going to be a lot of angst amongst yourself. Which thing am I going to upgrade first? That's tough. Mm-hmm. Because my general thing is like, more workers. But that might not be the best thing to get, more beds or whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was upgrading that barracks. I was like, everyone's going to the moon! I was so excited.
And then you also got to pick like a resource. Like, this is going to kind of be the resource that I'm going to focus on. Oh, I might need to shift that because 2 other players are doing that, and the third player is the only person doing the other resource.
Yeah, so this one's going to deplete in the market value quicker than others.
That right there was like, why are you... Oh, no, they're doing that too. Yeah, I love that market because that's not in a lot of games I play that you're like, you've got to time the market.
You do.
That's really big on this.
I think that the way that the round structure is broken out into 3 phases. Earth stuff outward, moon stuff, do your personal worker placement, and then the sales... It's nicely done because there's the first part is the most interactive part.
Yeah.
And then after that, you do go to your own board, but you never feel like you're lacking in player interaction because drafting those positions to and from the moon is huge. And then when it gets back to that market phase, then everyone's looking at each other again. Like, what are you selling this round?
Yes.
Don't bring down that price. So it's nice. It gives you enough of your own board to work with. I agree that I think the rulebook could read a little bit better. Like if it told you, for example, from the get-go that your player board is the moon, and if it kind of broke down what the different areas and phases that they correlate to, it would have been an easier read. But once you get it down, it's really cool.
Yeah, this is a tough one on recommendation purposes. What would you give it?
I'm actually coming. It's funny how you mentioned how crunchy it is, and that word scares a lot of people. But I think rules-wise, this is very approachable, but it is just the efficiency logic puzzle of it, I think, really gets me. I'm going to come in at 8.5. I can see it going higher.
Wow, really?
I like this game a lot, mainly because you've got that... it's so fun to be able to work that puzzle, work the market, and I don't like market games, but then on top of that, you've got these ships going different routes, going up there, and you've got to time that right, and it just makes for some great moments where you're like, he's about to arrive, or you've got this guy that's shooting something up far later than you did, but his reaches, because it's got a lot that I really enjoy. I went back and forth on this, but this is one that sticks with you mentally and thinking, I can get in there and do this more efficiently. And that right there says a good game to me.
I'm coming in score-wise at an 8. I like this one a lot. My biggest concern on first play was that the 7 rounds don't feel terribly different from each other. Right, you're kind of going through the same loop time and time again. Now, you are upgrading your moon base, and I do like that. At some point, you're like, oh, my refinery is super strong. I have a bunch of spots to get 3 purple crystals every turn. But what brings it back up to an 8 for me is that there are those extra modules in there. Do you want to play with, hey, from the 4th round onward, you want to draft extra buildings and stuff each turn? I like that. A little bit more player power variability. You can play with extra things that came in there. So I appreciate that a lot. That an 8 is a really good score. This game has impressed me a lot.
Let's continue to go down.
No,
7.5. Here's the thing. I really like the game a lot. And that's my... I think it's a very enjoyable game. For me, the biggest thing is this feels different. And that's a big deal. There's definitely some things about the game. This is definitely one of those games that someone who knows how to play the game is going to stomp you so hard if you've never played before. Because that's just the way the game works. It's going to be one of those games that rewards multiple playings, rewards knowing the stuff, and then, of course, the different yellow cards that are available are going to change game to game, and then the modules you throw in. And I think it's unique enough. I wish it looked nicer. I wish it was more approachable looking, I think a lot of, we're going to put this in Dice Tower Library. I don't think it's going to get checked out that much. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. But I wish there was more of an attraction to it. But if you're looking for something, I like the space theme. And a lot of times the space theme is kind of thrown into a game, and this one, it feels
like it's built
you are
around
sending
that.
stuff to the moon, and you're doing stuff on the moon. It works in this situation, even if you are an evil giant conglomerate.
But you're going to the moon.
Yeah, you're rushing to the moon.
Right.
So that's Lunar Rush. Definitely check it out. Thanks for watching. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Joy Evans.
Keep your astronauts alive.
I can't do it.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you liked this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.